if this shows up on my Facebook page because I can't tell from where I'm at.
Oh, can you tell? Got it.
If it's Cuban tea for you, it's her on the balcony.
Is it?
This was used for intoxication, right?
You actually.
Gotta make sure, girl. I don't need nothing extra in my life.
Yeah, we're let me just tag you guys.
Oh yeah, it's there. How about that?
For me. I know my daughter, bitch.
Where is I was going to see it.
You know, we're live, Andre.
I know. I'm sorry.
What do you mean? It's like
Whatever I say.
Andre,
say
does your profile pic have like him on it or something like that?
Yes, that's me. You want me to change it?
No. I just wanted to make sure before I tagged the wrong page.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, this is live. We are live on YouTube and on Facebook. I am here. I am here. We'll say ladies first because this is a lady in the scene. I'd like to introduce legendary, right? Sierra Mizrahi, correct? Drag face.
Right.
And we're over here with the pioneer icon, the legendary Andre Mizrahi. And this evening, first of all, thank you both for being here. It's been a while since I've done this, but I'm getting back into it. Oh, there's a lot of people. Oh, okay. People on YouTube are happy to see you, Andre.
I'm happy to see y'all too. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hey, icon. Yes, this is beautiful. Okay. So today we are going to be getting into some of your history, Andre. We're going to get into what's coming up in a few weeks and also the 30th anniversary ball of the house, the iconic house of Mizrahi. So let's get to it. Andre, how the hell did you become Andre? Let's start with Clark, leading into Mizrahi.
Okay. Well, I was born in Brooklyn, New York in 1968. You know, I always say my age. I'm 53. I'll be 54. In 1988, Sean Coleman, as y'all know, Sean Ebony, iconic trans man. We were best friends since 13 years old. A lot of people don't know that. So he actually brought me to the village for the first time in 1988. So that's how basically I seen people on the piers and all of that. So that was the beginning. Once I seen that, I knew I wanted to be a part of, the gay community. So that's how it started.
What year was that?
1988.
1988. So
yeah.
You mentioned Sean Coleman. Shout out to Sean. So what was the first category that you could say fascinated you or that you were introduced to?
The first category that was best dressed. But it was called best dressed man in them days, though. They didn't have like a best dressed open to all. And then after that, they had spectator, but it was best dressed man. So that's what my first category was. And then it was bizarre. Yep.
Question off that, best dressed men, a lot of they used to have straight men walk that as well, right?
Correct. There was only straight men at that time. Couldn't walk best dressed. That was the only category that straight men can walk was best dressed man. And then it became best dressed spectator. Then ballroom had their own best dressed for the categories.
Okay. So your first category was that. And tell me, if they don't know, the category that you first got very much known for was what?
Performance. I'm gonna say bizarre and performance because at first I didn't walk performance probably into 2 years after I came out, so 1990. I didn't want to Vogue. I was a dancer all my life, but I just thought that was too gay. So I didn't want to do it, but I always was infatuated with it when I've seen other people do it, but I just didn't want to do it. I've just felt it was too gay. So I would walk every other category but performance, but I kept looking at it like I'm gonna have to do this because I start liking it when the time went. So I was walking bizarre, nostalgia, nostalgia, pill, pill and more pill, all old categories, shorts ahoy, shirts ahoy, precision haircuts, realness, face. I was doing all of that for like 2.5 years before I got into performance.
So with all those categories, would you say that you were like one of the first all-around butch queens, would you say?
Yeah, everybody say that to this day, that I was one of the first all-around butch queens that didn't stick in your own category. Meaning, like, you would have that with like realness kids, they'll walk all the types of realness. To me, that's not all around. All around is when you can vogue and you can walk runway and you can walk face and you can walk sex siren. I've done it all. The only category I have not done was body. And everything else I've done, period.
So when you talked about you watching performance and then doing it 2 years after the fact, who was the ones that you looked up to or admired? Like, who would you say it was?
I looked up to Stevie St. Laurent. I looked up to Pendarvis. I keep forgetting some of their names, but some of the old ones, even Lamar, Ebony, Charles Ebony, these people, God rest his soul, they passed away. But it was a lot of older girls that I looked up to. Ronald LaMay, them was the ones I really looked up to because they had just a style and a grace and a precision of their old way that I love. So them the ones I looked in Willie Ninja.
And Willie Ninja, of course. One quick, everyone out there, let me know if you can hear him fine. A couple people text me and told me they really can't hear you. Andre, please let me know you can hear him, please. While you guys are telling me that, Andre, they never knew the House of Mizrahi was still a thing. It most definitely still is a thing. We'll get to that. They said the great outfit. They said the great outfit from the latex ball you had on was fire, Andre.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Somebody said, I met Andre in 1991 at Sound Factory Bar. He was a voguing phenomenon.
Thank you.
So, okay, so you was an all-around butch queen, and you went, first house you were in was what again?
The first house I ever was in for 2 weeks was Openness. I never walked the category or nothing because they was arguing because I got in there by Jason Openness, but I didn't go to no meetings or anything. So they was arguing. So I just stepped out of the house because I didn't know nothing about nothing. So I stepped out. Once I stepped out, I ran into Stuart at a club, and Stuart was like, "What house are you in?" And I was like, "I'm not in no house." So he was like, "You're going to follow me. You're going to be a Libasia with me." So I didn't really know nothing, but I wanted to be in the house. So I went to the House of Libasia. And to me, that's where it took off because Pepper became my mother, my first ever mother. And she really kind of groomed me and let me follow her all around to the start of Andre Mizrahi, basically.
Okay, so let's get to that. See, Andre, we got to come back and do another in-depth interview, but we're going to keep this, about Mizrahi tonight.
Okay.
Tell me about the conception of Mizrahi and what made you or gave you the courage to start your own house.
Okay. When I was a Revlon, I made my name as a Revlon. I did, and I became a legend as a Revlon. That's how long I've been a legend. And that was in 1992 when I became a legend. I didn't believe in I was a legend.
Were you deemed or how did
It was no such thing of demon. Your demon in them days was the pioneers like Pepper and Avis, and them would just say you are that, and that is it. You get it? It was no such thing as trophies and demon and all that. And they did that at my first ball in Tracks in 1992. That's the day I left Revlon and opened Mizrahi the same day. Why I did it, I just felt like me and my father, Tony Revlon, was going through so many things that not seeing eye to eye. And I think I wanted my own legacy. I was scared at the time, but I was like, hey, I could try it, and it stuck. And that's where it started at.
Okay, so 30 years ago, the conception of the House of Mizrahi, you left Revlon. Who was your initial lineup? Who started the house with you?
Ooh, God bless the soul. Kenny Not, he's an old iconic label diva, runway diva. He passed away. Hugh, he passed away as well. The founding mother, Heidi, was in a law. After the house was open for like 3 weeks, I went and found her. And then she politely came over and was the first founding mother. And who else? Pussy, she was like one of the first kids, Monique Gucci. And then afterwards, we found Jack maybe like 5 months after the house was opened. I found Jack inside tracks. And I'm not even 5 months, I would say 2 or 3 months, because he was one of the first to come to the first ball we did. So yeah.
So describe how that beginning days of you opening the house. What was the hardest things that you had to deal with back then?
That day was facing Tony. I won't even lie, because Tony did not even know Tony was with me, building the ball with me and everything, but Tony did not know I was leaving the foundation because I wasn't sure. So I didn't want to throw it to him saying I was leaving until the last minute. So that was the main thing of leaving the house. So when he finally knew, it was almost Grand March time. So it was like a slap in his face or whatever. So that was the hardest thing. Other than that, ballroom is so different from now than yesterday. So everything else was easy because it was just about having fun. It wasn't about building a name. It wasn't none of that. So long as you having fun, you was good.
Okay. So describe those beginning days of Mizrahi when it was you, Heidi, Jack, and then
Oh my God. It was unit.
when
This
you
is
had
one thing.
Sandy, you had
Sandy
Sanaya,
was one of
you
my
had
first
Carrie,
daughters.
you had all of those.
Yes.
Describe those beginning days for you in the house when you was building the house of Mizrahi. I mean, stories that I heard when I came out.
Oh my God.
Sandy ending the ball for when y'all had grand prize. I think it was like dinner at the White House or something like that. And
Yes.
y'all traveling state to state. You know, back then, well, it really wasn't state to state, but going to Philly and DC and the U-Hauls and all that. Like, describe those days, those beginning memories with you guys.
Breathtaking to describe it. It was more breathtaking because in them days it was so much unity. It wasn't not about nothing but unity and family. They would sleep at your house. Y'all would eat. Y'all would make sure everybody had clothes. Everybody shared money. It was no such thing of what we have today. Not saying nothing is wrong with today, but it was just more family and unity in the old days than the new days. From Sanaya, like you said, from Sanaya to Sandy to Venus, to Carrie, them was one of the first 4 girls that we had that was Femme Queens that been around with us for over 10 years, just running strong, living together. Like they all lived with me in the same house, same everything, and we did what we had to do to make it work. Whoever had to do whatever they had to do to put in to make it survive, that's what we did. And that's what I've missed in them days, of anything, because now we in a new whole genre where it's more about business than unity, and that's where it's at.
Okay, but let me ask you this question, Andre. You have been through many different things in ballroom, outside of ballroom, and many shifts, from Mizrahi to Givenchy, to reopening back Mizrahi, and then even other people starting their home house from the House of Gucci.
Correct.
And then people, like, even with someone saying here, like, they didn't know Mizrahi was still a thing. But here we are 30 years later celebrating the ball. How does it make you feel that even though the house and you have had ups and downs, peaks and valleys, that you're still here?
That makes me feel relevant. That makes me feel that all of my 36 years in ballroom never went anywhere. And that's all I wanted, is to make sure I left the foundation that was here forever. Don't get me wrong. I think every house goes through ups and downs, but it's about your longevity and what you can do here and make sure they always see you here. So that was one of the reasons why I stayed relevant and stayed out in the peers' eyes, because I always felt that I did not want my legacy to die in any type of way. So not only with your kids, you can help it as well with your brand of building. And that's why I always stayed into ballroom.
Okay. So moving into the Mizrahi ball, I've known Sierra for a long time. I've done many business transactions with Sierra in regards to her ball. What made you, Sierra, and overall Father George decide for the 30th year anniversary to do $30,000 the house with the most trophies? What was the reason behind it? What's the method? What's your feeling about it?
I think that came from me. I think 30 years, 30,000. And the first time we did it, we gave out 10,000. The House of Milan won. The second time we gave out 15,000. The House of Revlon won. So it was 30 years. So I said, well, you know what? Let's try to find some type of organization, because George was not, in his job at this time. So I want a lot of people to know that George was not the overall father, and he did not have this job that he have now, that he could get his job to, give out 30,000 for us. So I was like, but this is what I want to do. I think we deserve to do this. We always been the first to give out the most money as a house category. So let's continue this. So George bid it first and was like, you know what, let's do this or whatever. So finally, we still didn't know how it was going to happen. But then after he became the overall father, maybe 6 months after, God had blessed him with this job. And that job made the opening to give out $30,000 to one house. So that's really how it happened. And then Sierra jumped on it with her pretty self and helped me with anything that she could help me with joining it. So that's usually that's how it went. Yep.
You guys just froze. Okay, you're back. So let's do it. July 30th, 30 years, $30,000. Again, everyone, 30 years, $30,000 to the house with the most trophies. Well, isn't it more than 30,000? It's not. That's for that.
And so far it's 34,000, but the
Okay.
4,000 don't got nothing to do with the house. That's two different categories for the older girls, because that's where I came from.
When I when I read that category, Andre, I really thought that was. I always like a homage category, and I thought that was good. That 30 years, the diamonds and stuff, because as you know, I hate to say it, sometimes ballroom could be aged. We have a lot of ageism in ballroom, and I don't want to say that we cancel people, but we definitely forget the ones that paved the way. So I definitely like that category when I read that. I thought it was paying homage and remembering, like, it gives them people a chance that don't want to walk with the newer generation to come out here and really
And we have to realize where we come from. See, this is the real reason why the ball is in Brooklyn, is because this is my legacy here. It don't matter where I moved to. It don't matter where I became. At the end of the day, if it was not for where I came from, Brooklyn, New York, and my older peers, I would not be Andre Mizrahi. So you have to give back to your older peers. And I knew a lot of them is in age and cannot make it to Atlanta or wherever else. So this is when you bring it to their backyard, because they are part of my life. For me to be feeling a certain way, I wouldn't have felt no other way but to have it in Brooklyn, period.
So let's, I do know, okay, so I'm old school, so I understand when you say just bring it. I notice now a lot of times with this newer generation, just bring it is even confusing to them. So explain to me, to the people, just bring it, but still, what standard are you looking for?
Just bring it. One is for $30,000, one house with the most points. So that means you must look ballroom worthy, period, for 30,000. Not saying look 30,000, but look clean, look right. But you can do whatever you want to do in your heart for that category. It's all in your mind what you want the judges to see. So it's not a must that you be in candy effects, but it could be a plus if a judge look at you and say, okay, bitch, that's what I want to see, because he's a part of ballroom. You get it? So you could do whatever you want to do, long as you ballroom worthy for 30,000.
So it's definitely
Also,
not like the last. Okay, go ahead, Sierra.
Also,
Sierra,
I think it gives you the opportunity to make a moment, because we're not asking for anything in particular, so you can do whatever you want to do. So don't go half-ass, go big, So have fun,
But
it gives another house an opportunity to come in last minute saying, bitch, no, we coming to try to win this, because all the categories, it says bring it, do whatever you want. So it don't give you, okay, I gotta look like this, I gotta look like this. You can do whatever you want, period.
So unlike the last Candy World, everyone, that's a plus, but not a must. It's just really bring it ballroom worthy.
Yep, correct.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, location, where is the ball and what are the times as far as that goes?
Okay, is that the Masonic Temple, right?
It's at the Brooklyn Masonic Temple, located
at
off of
217 Claremont. It's 317?
317 Claremont Avenue.
317 Claremont Avenue. It's
those
located.
that may not know, this is where the ball was at in October for the Icons Ball that our Anniverary hosted. It was a very big location with a downstairs. People get ready downstairs. It's a nice size. Yeah, it's a few rooms. So yeah, so remember that is where it is located. Will you have a runway?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I'm taking questions. Will the ball time be changing, being that the location has changed, or will it be?
No. The doors open at 11 a.m. Stars and Statements is at 12. We are out of there in 10 hours. So whatever we got to do is to 10 p.m. And that's why the ball is in the daytime. So we can make sure one house wins that money.
Andre and Sierra also told me they wanted to make sure that they didn't conflict with the Hoodstock that night as well, correct? Where everybody coming, and it's in Brooklyn, so you guys can come there. Then, or y'all always asking for after party, y'all can spill right over to the Hoodstock.
That's right.
Okay, let's go back to this time situation. This is for $30,000. There's no reason the ball shouldn't start on time, because in all actuality, this is the house with the most trophies. So I feel like it is to your advantage to be there on time, because every category counts at the end of the day. And I think that New York Ball, we have to do our best to really try our best to have these balls at a certain time and start, because, yeah, just out of respect for everyone. They've loved you way since back the Apollo, Andre.
Thank you. They like me.
I met Andre, Sanaya, and Jack on Nostrand Avenue in 1993.
Woo. Man.
I mean, it's I'm on, hold on.
There you go.
That is true.
They would like for me to definitely do a sit down with you, Andre. They want to know more history.
Okay.
Andre, what was your takeaway experience from when you did the Apollo?
What was my takeaway experience? One, I loved it. I was always one of those that was competitive, so I wanted to do it from a long time. A lot of people don't know I was on Apollo 5 different times. That was the only one that was televised. But I won 2 times with Pepper, and then I won one. I lost one time when I was Michael Jackson at 15. Then I came back and finally did the Apollo live twice. But so my whole experience with that was really scary, but I wanted to do it, so it was, you know, fantastic. And God knows I praise it all the time, because it wouldn't have been the BET Awards, it wouldn't have been the EBT Music Awards. It would be my own fucking key to Atlanta, you know, Atlanta, where I live at in Atlanta, Georgia. I got the own key of my own day. So many things came from that. Just me being on Apollo was amazing. So I love every minute of it.
Well, are you taking all questions, or are we just taking certain questions? Because they
Go ahead. I'll say if I don't take it, but go ahead.
Okay. Did someone ask if you and Kelly are good now? They remember when y'all was beefing.
Yeah, me and Kelly is really, really great now. We're in a great space, and we each other in that step, but we're really good now.
Okay, someone asked, Andre, will we finally see a new overall mother for the House of Mizrahi?
Yes, will.
Oh, y'all heard it here. Okay, so he has an overall mother coming out. Andre, are you still running Mizrahi, or do you have someone else doing it?
I'm still one of the leaders. Joe's the leader as well. But yeah, we have a few leaders. But
Andre, hold on. You guys are skipping again. Hold on. I don't know if somebody's calling Sierra. Hold on.
No.
Are we still skipping?
I don't know why. How about now?
You guys are frozen, but I hear you.
I don't know. It don't look frozen on this side.
Now.
Some of these questions I'm not asking, but the people. This is a good question. Andre, being someone who has pushed for ballroom to be mainstream, i.e. you doing the Apollo and music videos, how do you feel now that ballroom is mainstream?
I love mainstream. I love that I was one of them that pushed it. I love where we at. There's nothing bad about where we at, period. So I love every moment of where we at.
Okay. Well, he just said that him and Kelly are great. Let's honor that. That's his daughter. What is next for the House of Mizrahi? What kind of house do you see Mizrahi being branded as in now?
Really, I just want a brand, a new house branded completely all over the world, televised and everywhere else, and with businesses and everything. So that's where I see the future with Mizrahi.
Okay. Well, this is a good question. Andre, you've been out, ask Andre, he's been out a long time. Could you please tell me 5 of the new hottest people in ballroom that you really appreciate them working their category?
Oh, okay. I'm glad you broke that. I appreciate walking in category, because that's different from appreciation, just period. That's 2 different things. 5 people that I appreciate. I'm gonna answer this, but I hate answering this. Why? Because I'm one of those peers that people always attack me when they think that they should have been one of them that I said. You talking about new people, right?
They ask new people that have caught your eye in ballroom.
New people, I would say Chaos is one of them. Chaos is a little twister from Atlanta, Georgia. He's new, he's not even a legend yet. And he's in the house of Montclair. I think that's Jason's house. He's one of them. New people. I even say, I don't even know the boy name. He's a Orichi. He got braids and he's a twister. He's young. I just met him not too long ago, and he lives in Brooklyn. I don't know nothing about him, but I love his energy and I love his category, how he brings it completely. Him, offhand, who else? Brooklyn Mugler. I love her energy. I love her attitude. I love her performance. That's 3. Trying to think of like new, just new people that are. I don't know some of their names, and there's a few more people that's in the Kiki scene that I've seen, but I don't know their names, and I just know their energy. But them is 3 offhand.
Okay. How do you still move the way you do at 50 plus? I am 40 and barely get one dip out.
I think one, I never stopped dancing or voguing. So I think that's one of the reasons. I've been doing this all my life, period, without stop. So I think that's one of the reasons. I never drank and I never smoked. I think that helps as well. So that's probably some of the reasons why I can still flip on my head or whatever.
If they have another season of Legendary, will the Mizrahi audition and would you be on the show?
With the right contract, yes. That's all I can really say with that. Everything is about done right. And at this day and age, with 30 years of history, I will want Mizrahi to be completely thought about it in the best way possible before we enter anything that big.
Okay. Are there any virgin categories at the upcoming ball? Hello?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Are we back? We're back.
Yeah, I think so.
Sorry.
Yeah, I see you. Are there any virgin categories coming up at the ball?
Yeah. We got beginners. Beginners runway, if I'm right, beginners face. We have beginners Vogue. So that's 3 offhand. That I can remember. Offhand.
All beginner categories are present.
Yeah, all of them. Yeah. Beginners is our future, so we have to have that.
I like that.
And we also have some GNC categories as well.
Correct.
Gender nonconforming.
GNC categories?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just trying to sift through.
What makes sense? I get you.
And George is about to come on too.
Yeah, he just called in. Yeah.
Okay. George.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
I can't see you, George. We're on live. We're on YouTube and Facebook.
All right, let me go to a place where I can cut a light on.
Okay. While we're waiting for him to come on, that is the icon overall father of the House of Mizrahi, George.
We have beginners Vogue, face, realness, and sex. Them are the beginner categories.
Because of the length of the ball, the amount of categories you have in, how many different judges panel changes can we expect? You guys are frozen. Hold on.
Okay. Tell me when you can hear me again.
I can hear you. You just go in and out. I don't know if it's like the phone or somebody's calling in the same time you guys. I'm not sure.
No, yeah, I think it's just a position sometimes goes in and out. What about now?
Yeah, it's skipping a little bit.
Hey, you're on the 7th floor? Yeah, I don't know what's going on either.
How about now? Still?
It's skipping, but I hear you guys. Georgia, you want? Okay, back to that question. How many are we going to expect? A bunch of different judges channels to change?
Yeah, we changed the panel 4 times.
4 times.
Yes.
Is that going to be 4 different sets of judges or rotating?
4 different sets of judges, period. Why? Because it gives everybody an opportunity so they won't say it's not fair. The same judges, people don't like people, all of that. We're trying to make it as fair as possible.
Hi, George.
What's up, Caesar? How are you?
I'm doing well. We over here catching up with your father and Sierra. We've been talking about the ball. So guys, George, can you give them, well, I've been asking them questions. Can you give them the people a little bit of your reason, what you're doing as far as the ball goes and your contribution and what are you feeling and what are you looking forward to?
Yeah, so I'm gonna try to do this real quick. So shout out to everybody that's supporting the Mizrahi ball, who plan to support the ball, who will see it from afar. Just anybody that has positive energy towards the house and what we're trying to do. Shout out to y'all. That said, this was something that kind of came about as I don't want to say an accident, but this was an attempt that I had been making for a long time to try to secure some grant funding that could be funneled into the ballroom community and that could also help curb some of the narrative that was happening around Andre and trans women and all of this other stuff that was happening a couple of years back. I personally know and believe in Andre and always have. And I know that, that was a big fiasco that just got completely misconstrued and blown out of the water. And so I had already said to Andre way back then, we came up with this idea where we were going to give away money to trans women, to women of trans experience, just to kind of show our regard and our respect for the community. Well, that grant ended up turning into this bigger project. And I was able to secure $200,000 that would be over the course of 4 years and would go straight to the ballroom community. And so naturally, we're like 30th anniversary, we're going to throw our house ball. We started to think of other houses that we wanted to include. Shout out to the House of Ebony, shout out to the House of Gorgeous Gucci, shout out to the House of Balenciaga, because those were the houses that we really wanted to help in the beginning. That was the concept. Well, we fast forward, I don't think that the level of respect that we deserved was reciprocated. We were traveling around giving out $1,000 pop-up categories for about a year. And it just seemed like the intention wasn't being respected and it wasn't being regarded in the way in which Andre and I designed. And so we said, you know what, we're going to focus on our ball and we're going to make a statement and we're going to do this big thing. And so all the focus went towards that for the most part. We still, I still sponsor categories through my agency, and especially like on the West Coast, I sponsor some stuff on the East Coast in Atlanta, whatever. Kind of where we are now is that I've just felt slighted by many different houses, many different individuals. And, I'm tired of being that George that grew and still as a kid, I've achieved enough in my ballroom career and in my life as an adult to where I feel as though I can have an opinion and I can stand on my own 2 feet and I can say, that didn't feel good or I didn't appreciate that. George has been known as this quiet, meek person that now it seems as if I'm this other person. And that's just not the case. I think I would be remiss if I didn't say to the House of Balenciaga that I do feel slighted. You know, our ball was out for a long time before theirs. And then they decided to throw a ball 2 weeks before ours. I said something when it first happened. You know, Harold and I and Dante and I had, you know, words about it. Andre was included. That being said, we moved on. We're going to support their ball. They're going to support our ball. And I think that's how it should be. You know, if you come to a conflict, there should be some kind of resolution. Definitely at the leadership level, right? Like, we don't need our kids bickering. We don't need our houses at each other's throat. And so let's fix it from the top and let it trickle down. I'm not sure if you guys have already touched on this or what, but the House of Gorgeous Gucci is definitely banned from the House of Mizrahi ball. I don't know if that was touched on before I got on the call or what. I've had conversations with the House of Gorgeous Gucci, so this is no shock to them or so no surprise. But in a nutshell, I'm just tired of being picked on. I'm tired of being bullied. I'm tired of being cornered. And I'm tired of being disrespected. It's like, I spend sleepless nights writing grants and, you know, juggling funds to try to help support people and different things. And then to fast forward to a place where people are like snubbing you and slighting you at every chance they get because they still have a strong hold over the politics, or they still have a strong hold over, you know, people's perceptions. It's just not fair. You know, there's a lot that I've learned in ballroom, and one of the things is playing the game. You don't disrespect people who are throwing major events weeks before their event, right? That's one reason why the House of Mizrahi has stayed off the floor for a while, is because we don't want to get into a situation where we feel like it's shade from another house, or we shade another house and then they don't want to come to our ball. You know, it's called playing the game. It's political. You have to be very strategic. And I think that the House of Gorgeous Gucci, unfortunately, two individuals soured the whole experience for the House of Gorgeous Gucci, and that's just what it's going to be. I'd love to see Jack and Kelly and Pussy and Trace and Lola and Jarrell, who I believe are extensions of the legacy. They're extensions of the 7 letters. They're extensions of everything we stand for. Y'all are more than welcome to come to this house, because I would feel very small if I blocked the opportunity for the people who built my foundation, for me to be able to have a platform to tell them that they're not welcome at an event. However, the House of Gorgeous Gucci is definitely not welcome at the House of Mizrahi ball. And yeah, outside of that, I mean, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, I love everybody. I think that this is an unfortunate situation to happen, especially a couple of weeks before the event. You know, I tried on my end to rectify it. I tried to offer, you know, lines of communication and things of that nature, and they weren't reciprocated. And it is what it is. You know, I can't cry over spilled milk.
Okay. Can I ask a question, George?
Absolutely.
Okay. Me and you have also known each other a very long time. We've always been good, but I want to ask you a couple of questions. And this is standing to Andre. And I just wanted to. I don't agree with bans and boycotts. I'm going to tell you why. Andre, take that stern face off, because you're like ready, Andre.
I'm just listening.
I don't agree with boycotts and bans, because I feel like at the end of the day, if you're saying that specific people soured the situation, I'm just going to speak for y'all. I'm not going to go into other people's houses that banning their shits and all that. We're going to talk about the Mizrahi ball. Okay. No matter what, even with this is my feeling. Even with the Gucci's, no matter what, being in the House of Gorgeous Gucci, right? They will always be Mizrahi's bloodline. A lot of them. These are people that was in the house for 10, 20 plus years that helped build the house and stuff like that. And this is still a 30th year anniversary celebration. We are still here, ups, downs, no matter what. I don't understand the points of boycotts and bans when everybody, and I'm not trying to take away from whatever your personal experience or how you feel slighted or hurt, George, but I don't feel like that's fair to everyone, because I know whatever it is, everyone in the House of Gorgeous Gucci cannot be the cause of why you feel the way that you feel. So across the board, I'm gonna put this to all the ballroom. I feel like we do ourselves a disservice as ballroom promoters, as ballroom families, as houses by these boycotts and bans, because at the end of the day, the Mizrahi ball is just bring it. Bitch, that's competition. It's fun. So to me, when I think about that ball, for me, I'm like, that's fun. People are going to come and show out. They're going to walk 3-4 categories. Who can walk 3-4 categories? Houses that are coming, in full support, in full mode. They are coming to, and you guys, when y'all was Mizrahi, and even as the Gorgeous Gucci's now, y'all was always a top contender for those things of going hard, of coming together and sending your members out. I feel like, why ban the house as a whole, especially when a lot of them was part of building what y'all are celebrating? Like really, honestly, I understand that when feelings are involved, we can't see the bigger picture, but why does the whole house have to go through that?
So the bigger picture, Caesar, is that I wrote this grant. I remember standing up to like 6 a.m. writing this grant. And when I wrote it for peace. I wrote it for positivity. I wrote it for leadership. I wrote it for unity. I wrote it because I thought, with this money, some house's whole entire organization and entity is going to change. It's going to go in the Ballroom Hall of Fame. That house, that entity, whatever it may be. To fast forward to a place where you're almost rewarding bad behavior. Like I'm literally about to give the people who have been the worst behaviors, who have been the worst bullies that I've experienced probably in my entirety of ballroom, I'm going to hand them $30,000, or at least allow them the opportunity to win $30,000. And then I'm going to take it a step further. Why would I want that energy even inside of my event? It's like, I appreciate it. I appreciate the house. I appreciate my family. I love all of them. Like, that'll never change. And they know, like, they didn't do anything to me specifically, but it would be like a company's leader going and disrespecting another company and then saying, hey, can we come to y'all Christmas party? It's like, no, keep that energy right there in your company and in your organization. And it's no shade. Like, I hate to say this, but it really falls back on the leaders. Like, at the end of the day, this situation could have been fixed, Caesar, like all of that. Those two people just wouldn't have came to my ball, and the whole House of Gorgeous Gucci would have came. But the reality is, you have a subset of leaders or a subset of representatives who are doing things that are affecting your company. And so, yeah, it would be the same as if I was embezzling money, like, after that. And, if I was out committing crimes, it's like my agency should be looked at because of that. And you can't come to events and, torture people and bully on them and do all of this other stuff that you do and think that there's no repercussions. The repercussion is, keep that energy away from the House of Mizrahi's ball. We want to have a very peaceful, a very successful, fun event. I don't care if 2 people show up, $30,000 will be in that building before the ball starts. Somebody's going to win that money. That is not a Mizrahi. If you can't walk in that space with good energy and with respect for the people who are giving you an opportunity, then stay home. And that's literally how I feel. And that's where I'm coming from. That's my whole premise about banning the House of Gorgeous Gucci. The saying, one apple spoils the whole bunch, that's true. And I can't have that consciously in here where I got funders, I got board members, I have, sponsors, pharmaceutical companies, all sorts of people. The world will be watching us. And this is not what I want in my event. And so
but we can't generalize and broaden on, put such a blanket statement on the House of Gucci, like they're the only people that can bring that type of energy there. Because as we all know, at ball, especially when it is going to be a highly competitive ball and people have their energy and adrenaline and feelings are involved, we can't sit there and just say the Gorgeous Gucci, because any house can come with that energy, or that energy could develop through the night, depending on judges. When judges get on these cocktails, when judges are under whatever influence they may be under, whether people are salty if they lost, if people are salty if somebody won, they feel they should. We can't predict, unfortunately, energy. We can sit there and we could promote this. We want this type of energy at these events, and we want everybody to come there with this good mindset. But as we all know, understand, we can't predict what's going to happen. I always say that ballroom, the great thing about ballroom is the unpredictability, but it also could be some of the worst things, because we can't predict what's going to happen with people. So I just feel like we can't put that energy. I don't want you, George, to I understand your feelings right now. I don't want you to put that. That's too much to put on the house. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I mean, I hear you loud and clear, Caesar, and I totally agree with you. In a normal setting, this all would be like, yep, you're right. Like, I completely get it. I'm a progressive person. I'm a very thoughtful, I don't want to see anybody be wronged or anybody feel left out, especially in this big monumentous moment. However, I can project to you, I can't predict that they're going to behave badly, but I can definitely project based off of what I've witnessed recently and based off of the response to me saying these two individuals couldn't come, it's best that they stay home. And I promise you, I don't want their money. I love them, and I would love to have their money. I would love to have everybody's money. I'd love to have everybody's participation, all of that. But I'm sure Andre has even touched on this. If the ball was free, I would say the same thing. It's like
No, well, we didn't touch on any of this.
Okay.
It was a whole different situation.
Sorry. Well, yeah, Andre and I have tossed this idea back and forth because of COVID, where the ball might be outside, it might be in a park, it might be a free ball. We wasn't trying to ever capitalize on people's pockets or anything like that. We are trying to capitalize on people being able to have a chance to then be a Hall of Famer, or to then take $30,000 and become an LLC or a 501(c)(3). Like, that's what I was thinking when I wrote this grant. And I would love to do that for Jack. I'd love to do that for Kelly, for the rest of the House of Gorgeous Gucci. However, you got to be strategic. It's like, you don't snub the person who has the ability to give you this opportunity and then turn around and be like, well, I'm going to be cool at your event. No, you weren't cool at your event. So what can I expect at mine? You're probably going to be more upset because at my event, I'm going to be the one in the spotlight. So now, it's like, come on. And you just don't do certain things. It's like, you have to be strategic. And I think that the House of Gorgeous Gucci, built off of the House of Mizrahi, knows better than anybody else. You play the game. You don't go and disrespect Harold a week before the Balenciaga ball and expect for him to let you in the door. Like, that's just not how it works. You don't disrespect Caesar and Sanaya on a public platform and then expect for them to not have your picture at the door saying, don't come in. Like, that's just how it goes. And we can say whatever we want to. I've always been this nice person. I've always been a person to take the higher road. This is the one time where I'm going to meet people where they're at. And I'm going to go in whatever direction people are taking it. So if you want to take it there, that's where we're going. I'm going to follow your lead. And that's really what it boils down to.
Okay. I will say this, the ball has not happened yet. The Balenciaga ball is going to be a major event this coming week. And there's still time. Things could change. This is, like we said, unpredictability in ballroom. This could all be changed. I mean, it happens. We listen, you can sit there and say no, but we all know how this goes. So moving away from that. I can't even ask my next question now. Okay.
Why not?
I just
That's it.
Was it who we thought was gonna win the money?
No, I mean, I don't like to ask them quite the questions in regards to that, because you never know.
You're right, and I agree. You never know. Underdog can come to everybody.
You can have a house when this house is the most, especially for this. You can have a house in the lead the first half, and bitch can come and sweep through.
Right.
And
That's right.
Sometimes a small house may win because they knew what categories to hit.
That's right.
So I think that this is more like, another Balenciaga. This is the gamble. This is the casino, baby. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So, that's how I feel in regards to that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know, George, you kind of shifted the whole call, so I feel a little different now. So I don't know.
Well, that was definitely the vibe I was going for. I'm actually really Caesar. I'm being very, very tame. Andre and Sierra both can tell you, like, this is definitely not what I really want to say. What I really want to say is a whole lot more inflammatory and some other stuff. However, I'm an executive director. I'm a community leader. I'm a beacon for many of the community as well as the Bay Area specifically. I don't want the people who look up to me or who are looking at this video to think that George has any ill intent towards anybody or that I'm upset or anything like that. I am definitely hurt. Let's be clear about that. And I know the distinction between being hurt and being offended. I got thick skin, so you can't really offend me. But when people continuously, especially people who you think are your family, who you think are your friends, who you think are people who have your best interests at heart, these are people who I literally sponsored over $15,000 worth of money to in the last year. You know, it's like, this is people that I care. These are people that I care about, and these are people that I've felt like I was helping. And so to fast forward to this place, it doesn't make me feel good to come on this live and say this stuff. It actually hurts me. You know, like I was telling Andre recently, I only been here for about 20 years. It'll be 19 years next year. Some of the people that I'm saying this to have been here for longer than I have. Some of these people built this house. Some of these people made a space. They raised me. They helped me. And so it doesn't feel good to say, you know what, because of some of your folks that, you know, I'd rather y'all stay at home. That doesn't feel good. It actually hurts. And it doesn't feel any better than it did to have the things that happened to me. We'll leave it at that.
Kelly, text me. Kelly would like to call into this live. Yeah,
we don't want that. And I love Kelly down, but we're gonna keep this very professionally, and we're gonna go on to promote this 30th anniversary.
So again, let's give the rundown. July 30th, Brooklyn Masonic Temple. Doors open. What time?
11 a.m.
11 a.m. What time is the ball starting?
Start the statements is at 12.
12.
First category is at 1 o'clock.
And the first category is at 1 o'clock.
And we have the venue until what
10
time?
Until 10 p.m.
10 p.m.
Okay. And how much is it at the door?
$50 all night.
Yes, $50 all night.
So the price, someone asked, did the price has not changed, being that the location changed?
No.
No, whatsoever. It was outside at first.
Yeah. And we sold $30 tickets and $40 tickets. It was online.
There's pre-sale tickets going on right now.
Somebody
and there's still sell tickets going on now too. Yeah.
Well, somebody just asked if you could please open back up pre-sale tickets.
It's open, right?
They're open.
They're open.
What date is
online?
it? What date is it? What date?
What time? 15th is start.
The
Okay.
15th.
Okay, guys. Well, I guess that's all for tonight. Myself and Andre, I guess we'll go back live that Monday or Tuesday before the ball.
Okay.
And maybe George will come on, and maybe George, you'll have something different to say that day.
Maybe.
All right, guys. If you want to, if y'all each want to say one more thing to the people that's watching, and we'll watch later on.
Well, I want to just say I love everybody, and I'm having it in Brooklyn only because of my old peers and my new peers I know can follow. I wish everybody there, but whoever comes, that's who God wanted in the building.
I just want to tell everybody, you guys are in store for a treat. Despite the mishaps, despite the rumors, despite whatever we may want to call them, or you may want to call them and whatnot, but the point of the matter is that we are having a ball on July the 30th, 2022 at the Brooklyn Masonic Temple in Brooklyn, New York, located at 317 Claremont Avenue. $30,000 is being given out, plus an additional $4,000. Actually, it's $35,000 being given out.
Yeah.
There's two $2,000 icon categories. There's a big boys $1,000 category. So it's $35,000 being given out. So that night. So we just want you guys to come and have fun. The money is there. I will go live tomorrow from the venue for those who still have doubts or whatnot. So so you guys can take a look. Yeah, we just want you guys to come and have fun, and thank you so much for the support.
Yeah, and I just want to say, to not only echo their sentiments, but to say thank you to both Andre and Sierra. I mean, I don't think that people really understand what has gone on behind the scenes and how tirelessly we have worked to make this event a possibility. And Andre, as crazy as your mind works and all of that, like this is literally something that you thought of 2 years ago, and it is finally happening. I'm very proud to be a part of this and to be able to help support this, because I know how much it means to you to have this ball in New York and for it to be with your peers and in your city and in your hometown. All of the houses that are coming to support us, I really genuinely thank you from the bottom of my heart. I ask that we all have a good time. Remember that the world is watching. If you have people that you like to bring with you that have never been to a ball, that have never, experienced what it is that we do, we encourage that. We definitely want to see new faces. We definitely want to see new talent, and we definitely want everybody to be celebrated. And so please, keep that good energy and keep that good focus so that we can leave it all on the floor. And I hope and pray that somebody's life is changed, somebody's house is changed by this moment.
Okay. Thank you guys for calling in. I appreciate it. Andre, I'll hit you up so we can get the next one going.
All right, cool. Thank you so much, Caesar.
Thank you.
Bye, Sierra. Bye, George.